To order the. Okay, now we're recording. Let's start that over. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. We appreciate you spending time with us today to review these new TID districts for the Joint Review Board. The meeting is called to order. Could you do a roll call, please?
Yes, Chad Holbert.
Here.
Mr. Hutaka.
Here.
Mr. Gallagher.
Present.
Ms. Ramirez.
Here.
And Dr. Frederick.
Here.
I guess I'd like to step backwards and welcome Dr. Frederick to the meeting. Nice to have you here with us. Agenda. It's not pulling. If it's to the satisfaction of the board, I'd like to propose reversing order a little bit here and providing some information, some review on the existing TIDs prior to consideration of the new TIDs.
You might want to do minutes.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess we do have approval of the minutes first, if and entertain a motion for approval.
I'll motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes as presented? What is the password for Wi-Fi here?
That shouldn't be. I don't want to pass. I thought there was a guest. Was there a guest?
Well, it doesn't seem to want to load. Back to the hand. Any additions, corrections to the minutes? None heard. All in favor, say aye.
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 Right.
Aye.
Motion approved. Jumping to item number 11, I'd like to do our annual reports and reviews of the existing TID. Mark, if you could take that for us, please.
Yeah, so I'll just kind of start down with TID 4, kind of work my way down from there. If you have any questions, just let me know. Just TID 4, I know you have in the packet. That's our Monona Drive TIF, we call it. As is the mandatory termination date of the 31st, I'm hoping with some, the city's going through a referendum. If that passes, I think we can close this probably in 2027 if that happens at the be the earliest, but we will not go to the 31st. So we'll close that probably a little bit earlier. Tip number 5 was basically it's we call the Heritage. It's kind of a senior living area. It's taking a little bit slower to pay back. It's basically kind of affordable housing. So if you know affordable housing, it's a little bit, they're not assessed as high as market value, so it takes a little bit longer. That has a donation coming from TIF number 6. But that will probably go to the life of the TIF 2037. TIF number 6 is a donor district. That is Monona is our Monona or Meredith Clinic, W Hospital area, which is right off of Stoughton Road and Broadway. We also right now have an affordable housing going in right in that area right now as part of that TIF. So that TIF is actually donating to TIF number 5 at the same time. That should, I don't have the exact termination date, but that won't go the full life of the TIF. It should close a little bit early. TIF number 7. It's also on Monona Drive. That TIF is on target, probably close a little bit early. We have a project that we might be doing in there. We're waiting to sign the developers agreement. So the payback should be within the 8 years when we sign the developers agreement. But that's been a very successful TIF. TIF 6 and 7 have been very successful in Monona. TIF number 8 was right on, it used to be an old mobile home park. And that will close in about 6 years. And that's been a very successful TIF. That will be done in 6 years. TIF number 9 is our biggest one right now. We call it a riverfront project. Very successful TIF. We have some other projects that are actually going into that TIF. And that should probably be done before the mandatory date. I don't have an exact date for that. It's closing. Maybe questions, concerns, narratives?
I would like to make a comment, if that's okay. And that is Monona has used TIF very effectively to change the direction of the community. In 2010, when the census came out, it showed Monona's population was declining pretty significantly. And around the mid 2000s is when a lot of these TIFs that Mark just reviewed were created, and multifamily housing was put in. And the 2020 census showed not only the population rebounding, but it's growing. It's on the growth curve again. So the TIF program in Monona is very important for community stability.
Did you want to talk at all about our unexpected nomination?
Oh, yeah. So we nominated Monona's TIF program to the Wisconsin Economic Development Association. We were just announced, or it was announced today that we're a finalist for a Community Economic Development Award from the statewide Economic Development Organization. So we're happy about that. Yay. That's all.
All right, thank you, Gary. Thank you, Mark. Does anyone have any questions regarding the existing districts? Anything that you'd like clarified or expanded upon? I see some shaking heads, no, so that sounds good. We'll jump back to agenda item number 4. Do we want to take these individually? Is it required?
It's not, well, we have to have an individual resolution, which we do. I think we can approve all the resolutions together.
Yeah, unless anyone from the board would like to contemplate these individually, we could collectively approve them. Seeing maybe consensus that we could do this collectively. Okay, good. All right, then I would entertain a motion for approval of tax increment districts number 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. And their corresponding project plans.
I'll motion for that.
I
Mr. Gallagher's
second.
motion. We have a second from Ms. Ramirez. Any further discussion by the board? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by aye.
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 Any opposed? Looks like we have agreement. Are there any agenda items that the board would like to consider for our next time that we get together? Information that you'd like to have at hand or available? Great. Well, it looks like we're current. Our next meeting date, do we have a necessity for that at this point in time, Gary?
At this point, it would be in approximately June of next year for an annual meeting.
Yeah, it looks like our next one would be the annual meeting next summer. That said, I'd entertain a motion for closure.
Sure, I'll motion to adjourn.
I can second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. Have a good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you.
Everybody, take care.